speak?
I'm pleased to be the first today to welcome you to Santander Stadium. That's not easy for us Yorktowners to say. I think of it as like a matador going in for the kill. It's a new name, a lot of great changes, positive changes to the team and to the stadium and the experience this year. It's going to be a great year ahead of us, and you're going to hear a little bit about what we have in store for you. So to get on with that, somebody that needs no further introduction, fellow Rotarian Eric Menzer.
Thanks, Bill. That was good. Some of you know I spoke at Economics Club this morning, and they were doing the long-form biography, and I made the comment that they stopped just short of my paper route. So that's good. All right, there we go. Well, we now know the capacity of this room. It's not at every Rotary Club meeting that you got to say you ate at the bar, so that's a positive. Thanks to all of you for coming to our annual event here. Thanks to Bill. And welcome to Santander Stadium. We will play our first official game in Santander Stadium tomorrow night after 7 years in Sovereign Bank Stadium. I trust you enjoyed your lunch prepared by our friends at Legends Hospitality. They do a great job with all of our catering and concessions here at the ballpark. And it's really exciting for me to see all of you here today because after the winter we just had, it means that in fact baseball has returned about 28 hours from now. The 2014 edition of York Revolution Baseball that we're calling the Season of Magic will take the field. And we are doubling down on providing great family fun here at the ballpark, and I'll touch on a little of that in just a minute. But first I want to thank you, and I want to thank you for your investment with us, both your financial investment, because almost everyone in this room is a customer of ours in some way, and also your investment of confidence in us to be stewards of this building and our community baseball team. That investment, whether as a sponsor, a Skybox owner, a season ticket holder, an elected official, a fan, a friend, that investment is crucial, of course. It's crucial to our success as a business, but it's also crucial to the success of this entire enterprise. There are a tremendous number of people in this room who came together with their time and their money to make this possible 8 years ago. And so that kind of support, that kind of investment, the psychological investment you have made in this enterprise is critical to our success. Santander Stadium is not just a place for the Revs to play 70 games a year. It's a place for family and friends to gather, for community heroes to receive the recognition they deserve, for nonprofits to raise money, for businesses to host meetings, and for all of us to celebrate occasions like Independence Day with music and fireworks and fun. It's actually very telling that the single event attendance record for this ballpark is actually not a baseball game. It was last year's July 4th celebration where we put 10,500 people in this ballpark. Now we will never do that for a baseball game because we had to use the entire outfield to do it, and that would be rather awkward. But it is telling that we had that kind of response the first year that event moved here. So we're planning on reciprocating on that investment by making one ourselves, as Bill mentioned. And maybe I should actually say making many ourselves. We're now in our 8th year of business, and we've launched an initiative to reinvest in this ballpark. And obviously, to some degree, that is to our benefit, because that's the essence of entrepreneurism, to continue to evolve your business. But it's also because, as owners of this community enterprise, we take a very real pride in providing an outstanding community gathering place. As a down payment on that investment for the 2014 season, we built a new hospitality venue, the Dietz & Blewett Insurance Diamond Deck. This unique spot, which is an intimate hospitality area directly behind home plate for 20 to 50 people, answers a concern that we heard from you, that small groups in our picnic area could get lost in the crowd. So now when your company or your club wants to bring a smaller group to the ballpark, you don't need to be just one of the crowds, you can be the crowd. And I would invite you as you leave today, if you're interested, as you go down the stairs, turn left, go through the glass doors out into the concourse, help yourself to walking around to the front of the press box and check it out for yourself. We debuted this on Saturday with sort of a soft opening type event, got rave reviews. I couldn't be more excited about this new venue. But it doesn't stop there. We're going to continue to make such investments over the next several years. The highest priority for me would be out behind center field in our lawn seating area, a attraction we're calling the Revolution Skywalk. Picture an adventure playground, anything unlike anything that York has ever seen. Picture a cross between a ropes course and a zip line, swarming with kids, young and old. And while you're at it, picture your company's name on it. We'd be happy to talk to you about how you can buy those naming rights. Is that okay, Bert? All right. And while you're picturing things, picture a few years from now when there's a new deck cantilevered out over the foul territory in left field, or when there's a new air-conditioned pavilion in our current picnic area. It's all on the drawing board, and with your support, we'll make it a reality. But of course, the stadium building itself isn't everything. It's really what happens here that makes it magical. And we know that for many of you, when you support us with your marketing dollars, you're counting on us to reciprocate by constantly enhancing our own reputation for affordable family experience and support of the community. So we're investing in our community, and we're investing in that experience. We value all of our relationships with nonprofits, of which we have hundreds, but each year we strike up a deeper partnership with our annual presenting partner. And this year I'm pleased to tell you that this year's presenting partner is the Special Olympics of York and Adams County. We've had the privilege of creating a special experience annually for Special Olympians. And let me tell you something, I've been down on the field on that night when those Special Olympians act as our Field of Dreams team and go out on the field in wheelchairs in some cases. With their escorts accompanying them, and they go out on the field with our players for the national anthem. Some of the guys in this room have been the players on the field on that night. They know what I'm talking about. It is a truly memorable experience to be able to make that happen for those Special Olympians. This year we're going to be able to take that to a whole new level all season long and help Special Olympics raise their profile here in this community. Our plans are also set to bring a whole army of new entertainers to Santander Stadium this year to keep our product fresh. Among never seen before appearances will be Willy Wonka and his Oompa Loompas, and they tell me that they're real Oompa Loompas. I have no idea what that means, but I can't wait to find out. So real Oompa Loompas. World-class pogo stick jumpers. These guys are actually from York, and they have started this extreme pogo company, and they do backflips and all kinds of stuff, so that should be very cool. We have NASCAR drivers here next Wednesday night, April 30th. We have 2 Olympic gold medalists coming this year, Cullen Jones and Jenny Finch. We have Sergeant Slaughter for all you old wrestling fans. Probably should have said old. We have an attempt to break a Guinness World Record for popping bubble wrap, thanks to Colony Paper. We're going to set a world bubble wrap popping record this year. I think I'm kidding. They pay me for this. We have the Superstars coming back, and then we have one of the most famous acts in minor league baseball, the Cowboy Monkeys. Monkeys riding dogs, chasing sheep around the baseball field. Trust me, end of June, you don't want to miss it. Corey can't wait. He's like, the heck with this pitching. Cowboy Monkeys, man. So we're also going to continue to grow our special events business outside of our 70 baseball games. York's 4th of July celebration will be coming back this year to our ballpark. And on May 31st, we just put the advertising banner up on the left field wall this morning. We're going to produce the most spectacular pyrotechnics and music event ever seen in central Pennsylvania at Firestock. 3 fireworks shows, one of which, the finale, will be an inside the park fireworks show 6 times larger than anything we've ever done in the ballpark. So that should be cool. And then in the fall, we're going to produce an event called Stadium Maze, where we bring the fun of a traditional corn maze into the infield. And that'll be 4 weekends in October. So after all that, you might start to wonder, is it true that we actually play baseball games between all of this stuff here? And the answer is yes, and the time has come for me to turn the podium over to manager Mark Mason, who now, by the way, makes York his full-time home. Mark joined our coaching staff in 2010. As our pitching coach. Not only did his teams win 2 championships, but Mark had 2 of his pitchers from that time go on to make their major league debut after pitching here. Scott Rice for the Mets in 2013 and Ian Thomas this year for the Atlanta Braves. And in fact, those 2 guys, Revolution alumni, pitched the 7th inning against each other when the Mets played the Braves just last week. And that is no small accomplishment for a pitching coach in the Atlantic League. Last year, in his first year as manager, Mark had to deal with an incredible amount of roster turnover, and it's to his credit that we had the season we did in a division that saw the winner of our division, the Sugarland Skeeters, post the best record in all of professional baseball anywhere, at any level. Mark has spent 27 years in some fashion in professional baseball, including a minor league pitching career, years running a baseball school, and for 7 years as one of the most successful pitching coaches and managers in Frontier League history. Please join me in welcoming Mark Mason.
Good afternoon. I would like to say I'm honored to be here for my 5th year, and actually I made York my full-time home in the fall of 2010. So I've been here for a while. I'm originally from the Pittsburgh area, so I really didn't think that you all had bad winters out here. So I will take total blame for what happened here, because I've told everybody from back home, I hear all this complaint and I don't believe it. And then this year it was about 6 feet of snow, so I will take the full blame for that. You know, it is kind of interesting. One of the things that Eric mentioned was the Scott Rice and Ian Thomas. When I was the pitching coach here at that time, one of the things that I had my pitchers do was, I said, I have a 3x5 card here. And what I would like you to do is put your strengths on one side of the card and your weaknesses on the other. Scott Rice had hardly anything on the strength side of the card and a lot on the weakness side. And usually guys that have that mentality that they're always trying to get better, they need to get better, are the guys that do really well here. The guys that fill up the great side of the card, nothing on the bad side of the card, it usually doesn't work out too well. So that was a tribute to Scott. I mean, he had been around minor league baseball for a long time. He had great stuff. I've been fortunate to coach a lot of very talented players, and I have a lot of talented players here this year. And, you know, I'm really excited about our ball club. I think the versatility that we have, Michael Wirtz said something to me the other day at practice. He said, this is the only team that when they take infield, outfield drills, the whole outfield can come in and play infield when they're done throwing the ball in from out there. So one thing I tried to do this year was protect us against just a lot of vacancies, and we had a lot last year. I think I had 75 transactions in a 5-month period, which is about one every other day. And to put into some context of what kind of year it was, in 2010, we won a championship here. You know, Andy and I loved working with Andy and Polo, who's still here with me. We had 69 wins that year as a ball club. And last year we had 65. So that's a big, I mean, it's just one of those things where when you're in minor league baseball, you have a lot of turnover. And we try to protect ourselves against that the best we can. So there's always guys looking for jobs, but I think the group that I have here is pretty special, and I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the sacrifice these guys make to come here from all over the world to play in front of our fans and to put on a show for us. So it's just as exciting for me to be in the dugout and watch the guys play as it is for the fans in the bowl to watch. You know, I try to let the guys showcase their ability. We'll have some guys that can steal bases this year. I have about 3 or 4 guys here that I'm going to let them run anytime they want. If we get thrown out, so be it. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to put pressure on. We have guys that can hit the ball onto Arch Street. We have guys that can pitch. We can play great defense. So, you know, I'm looking forward to a really good year here. A really good year. And I would like to say, too, being my 5th year here, a lot of familiar faces here. I want to thank everybody here for their support as well, on behalf of myself, the coaching staff, and my team. So we really appreciate the support. You know, championships are great. Making the playoffs are great. 15 years in minor league coaching, I've probably had close to 150 players get signed back to major league organizations, maybe a little more than that, which is, I mean, that's why the guys are here too. So if we're all playing well, we get signed, we win games, it's a win-win for everybody. So with that said, We've had a long spring training. I can't wait for tomorrow night, to be honest with you. It's been 10 days of spring training is not a lot of time to evaluate your ball club. So you do everything you can in the off season. By the way, these are new too. Last year I didn't have them. Right now I have a hard time seeing the dugout card without it. It's pretty bad. But anyways, what I'd like to do at this time is I'd like to introduce this great team that we've put together for this year. The way I'll do it is like this. I'll do the pitchers first. And then when we're done with the pitchers, you guys can sit down because I don't want to wear you out making you stand well,
Keep ready for the
I don't want Paul Fletcher, my new pitching coach, to be screaming at me when I go to sit back down. We still have to work out yet today. We made a trip up to the York Hospital and visited some patients there, and so we've had a full morning already, and we still have some stuff to do today. But anyways. About 50% of these names you will recognize, and 50% were not here last year. And that's pretty much the standard in minor league baseball. So without further ado, I'll start with my coaching staff first. Ian Noel Polanco. Polo has been here since 2010. He's my right-hand guy. Polo does a great job. Third base coach, hitting coach, bench coach, helps me with all the Latin guys that we get signed here, so he does a really great job, and he's always in a bad mood. So he never smiles much. And, just a great guy and a great asset to what we do here. And our new pitching coach, Paul Fletcher. Our athletic trainer, who I don't think is here, Chong Choi, who works for Wellspan. Chong is not here. He's probably giving somebody treatment in the clubhouse. And Art Jackson, our clubhouse manager. So we'll say he probably has a tougher job than me, to be honest with you. So without further ado, we'll go to our pitchers. Starting pitcher, Chris Cody. Obviously, we're glad to have Chris back. We had a fantastic year last year, one of the best pitchers in the league. And relief pitcher, Ian Durham. Relief pitcher, Mark Hendrickson. Starting pitcher, Anthony LaRue. Relief pitcher, Rami Lewis. Starting pitcher, Jorge Martinez. Starting pitcher, Mike McClendon. If you look around to some of these guys, we're going to need stools to make mound visits this year. There are going to be some stiff necks in this group. Relief pitcher, Ed Paredes. Relief pitcher, Stephen Penny. Starting pitcher, Alan Keano. And somebody you won't recognize at all here, starting pitcher, Corey Thurman. Relief pitcher, Bo Vaughn. Relief pitcher, Michael Wirtz. And the new addition today that's not here right now, but will be in later today, is relief pitcher, Julio DePaula. Julio will be back. We just flew him in from the Dominican today, so he'll be back with the team this year as well. Our two catchers, Salvador Paniagua. And Alberto Espinoza. Infielder is Efilio Castro. Brandon Chavez. Travis Garcia. Eric will do he as an infielder, but you know, we know it's everywhere. Eric Patterson. Chad Tracy. And a familiar name to a lot of Philly fans around here, Wilson Valdez.
Okay.
See, I knew Wilson was with the trainer, that's why he's not here. They did tell me that, but along with these, you lose some other things. So, yeah, so they're actually not here right now. And last but not least, our outfielder Stephen Bumbry. Johan Lamonta. Johan. Sean Smith. Tim Torres. Tim falls into the Eric Patterson. He could be left field and then shortstop and then second base and then third base all in the next 4 innings. So, and last but not least, Rudy Yon. Thank you so much for coming on. We look forward to seeing everybody this year, and I'm looking forward to a great, great year. Thank you so much.
So I figured, in the spirit of minor league baseball, that just standing up here and giving speeches would not suffice. So I need 3 people, 3 volunteers who would like to play Revolution Jeopardy for the chance to win a party for 25 for themselves and 25 of their friends or employees in the Dietz and Blewett, fully catered in the Dietz and Blewett Insurance Diamond Edge. We have 3 volunteers who'd like to take a shot at winning here.
Ray.
All right, Josh is one.
Ray.
Stand up, Josh. Who else?
Ray.
Who else is up for it? Ray's been nominated. Stand up, Ray.
Frank Baker, yeah. Frank.
Anyone else? One more volunteer. I want you guys, you two so far, to go back here where I can see you together.
Oh, God.
One more.
Oh, Lord.
First, Frank. Frank is being nominated. Come on down.
Come on, Babe.
All right, there we go. Don't worry, I won't be too hard on you. Josh, head over here with, and you can play along at home. Revolution players are excluded. Revolution players are excluded. So here's the deal. When I ask the question, if you know the answer, I want you to raise your hand where I can see you, and we'll take a shot. I won't make you do it in the form of a question. So, five questions. Whoever gets the most right is going to win this outing for themselves and their friends or their company, fully catered in the Dietz and Blewett Insurance Diamond Den. First question for $200. What year did the Revolution start playing? Josh?
07.
07, there we go. Well, see, the whole point, Ray, yeah, if you know that, you raise your hand. For $400, who was the longest tenured player in Revolution history? Josh got his hand up first. Corey Thurman, that's right. 2-0. 2-0 for Josh.
Ray, let's go, Ray.
Hey, come
on.
For $600, what Revolution pitcher started the Atlantic League All-Star Game last year?
Cody?
Right. Chris Cody, that's exactly right. All right, 2-1. For $800, what 3 men have their jersey numbers retired on our center field wall?
Come on, Ray, get your arm out. Get your hand up.
Their numbers. You don't. The names aren't up there. That's the question. All right. I'm not going to sing that little Jeopardy countdown song. Give us 2 of them, Ray.
Brooks Robinson and Andy Etcheberg.
Correct. And Jackie Robinson. There you go. All right. 2 to 1. Here we go for $1,000. Josh can put it away right here, or somebody can tie it up and we'll go to the tiebreaker question. What current Revolution player was only the 2nd Major League player in history to start a game as a position player and end up as the winning pitcher? 2 players started the game as a position player, ended up as the winning pitcher. 2 players have done it in Major League history. One is Babe Ruth, and the other is, anybody?
Any help from the crowd?
Valdez.
Orson Valdez, that's correct. All right, since Josh cheated, I'm going to make Ray. I'm going to make Ray sit down. He only got 1 correct answer, and we're going to have the tiebreaker question between Josh and Frank. This is a tough one. We're going to find out if you've read Mark Mason's bio on our website. The tiebreaker question: what major league organization system did Mark Mason pitch in?
Texas?
Josh?
Guess again.
Where's he from?
Pittsburgh.
You got it. Josh
Gotta get some clues.
All right, so Josh has won the party. Josh, if you see me after the meeting today, we'll get you set up for the date of your choice. Thank you very much for your attention. We have a few minutes. I'm happy to take any questions or any questions for Mark Mason as well. Al.
Eric, you had said a couple years ago about potential expansion in the Texas area. Where are we on that?
Yeah, the question is about potential expansion in the Atlantic League in Texas or elsewhere. One of the very exciting things that has developed in the Atlantic League this year is the hiring of the first outside president of the league. The league president has always been one of the team owners. So while there is still a board of directors made up of the team owners, in our case, Bill Shipley represents us on the league board, the league now has hired an outside president, a gentleman by the name of Rick White. Rick, for 20 years, worked for Major League Baseball and has vast knowledge and contacts in the industry. One of the reasons that Rick was brought on board and the professionalization of the league office was to drive the league expansion. The plan is to have the Atlantic League become a 12-team league. That is the stated, adopted goal and strategy of the league, is to become a 12-team league. One of the 3 or 4 of those teams being in the Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana area. So the idea would be to have a division down there of 4 teams and then 8 teams on the East Coast. There is a very, very active effort now, a very promising effort in Virginia Beach, Virginia. They've been granted an Atlantic League franchise. They have very strong local support to build a ballpark. In fact, their design team will be here in a couple weeks to tour our ballpark to see what we've done. So I think it is very likely that within probably 4 to 5 years, we'll have that full division formed and be at 12 teams. There are 3 or 4 active ballpark team development efforts underway in Texas. It's possible that another team could join the league as early as next year. And it's also possible that teams in other independent leagues could come over and join the Atlantic League if they're in attractive, strong markets that can support 70 home games a year. That's really the key for us, and really the key for a community, is whether you have a strong enough fan base and business community to support 70 games a year. That's a lot of baseball games, that's a lot of product, and so that really, more than anything, is the driver of whether a market is an appropriate Atlantic League market versus a market that's better for one of the other leagues, other independent leagues that play fewer games than we do. Any other questions? All right, we must have knocked them dead. Thank you all again so